Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday again. It's still lovely and sunny. And today we're going to talk about doors. As you can see, this is our door. And we are sitting outside our front door. And there's lots of flowers around us that you can't really see. But there's a lot of bees and wasps around. And so we'll let you into a secret. Gemma hates bees and wasps, okay? So if there's a sudden scream, there's a bee or a wasp. But we're going to talk about doors and about safety, about being behind doors. And so to tell us a bit about that, Gemma is going to read from Joshua 2.
It is the whole chapter, so please bear with me. It's quite long. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. "Go, look over the land," he said, "especially Jericho." So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, "Look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land." So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab: "Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land." But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly, you may catch up with them then." But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road that leads to the fords of the Jordan. As soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did on Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on earth below. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, all who belong to them, that you will save us from death." "Our lives for your lives," the men reassured her. "If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land." So she let them down by a rope through the window, for the house she lived in was part of the city wall. She said to them, "Go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there 3 days until they return, and then go on your way." Now the men said to her, "This oath you made us swear will not be binding on us, unless, when we enter the land, you have tied this scarlet cord in the window, through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside your house into the street, their blood will be on their own heads. We will not be responsible. As for those who are in the house with you, their blood will be on our head if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell what we are doing, we will be released from the oath you made us swear." "Agreed," she replied. "Let it be as you say." So she sent them away, and they departed, and they tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went into the hills and stayed there for 3 days, until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then the 2 men started back. They went down out of the hills, forded the river, and came to Joshua, son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, "The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands, and the people are melting in fear because of us." So just before the spies left, they confirmed their agreement with Rahab. First, her house must be identified by a scarlet cord hung round the window that she let them down from. Second, she and her family were to remain in the house during the attack on the city. And third, the spies warned her that they would break their oath of guaranteeing her safety and protection if Rahab exposed their mission. So if Rahab kept to their agreement, her and her family would be safe behind the doors. And the scarlet cord tied around the window really reminds us of Passover, which, as we all know, is the final plague that God brought on Pharaoh and Egypt, where he killed the firstborn of every household, but spared the Israelites with the blood spread across their doorframes of the Passover lamb.
And then so in the days of Noah, safety and refuge was found for those who were behind the door of the ark. In Egypt, there was safety and refuge for those who gathered behind the doors that were sprinkled with the blood of the Passover lamb. And then with Rahab, there was safety and refuge for those behind the doors when the Israelites came to attack. And so for many of us at the moment, our homes are a place of safety and of refuge away from all the fear and the anxiety that's going on in the world at the moment. My grandparents have only left the house to go on walks to protect themselves from getting ill, while key workers amongst us return home as a place free of stress of cleaning and a potential exposure to the virus. And although home is not a safe place for everyone, we have good news. And that good news is that there is safety from eternal judgment, but only if we enter through the right door. Jesus Christ alone. And so as he said in John 10 verse 9, I am the door. If anyone enters through me, he shall be saved.
And so many of us are facing difficult decisions, trying to plan for things that are constantly changing. I know that the schools have had so much trouble trying to keep up with the government guidelines, and we're definitely praying for you if you're in school and if you're teaching in school, and if you're a head teacher of a school, then we're behind you, don't worry. But we have encouragement and help from God that if we remain in him, we'll be safe behind his doors.
So those are our thoughts from Joshua 2. We're going to go inside, get some lunch, and get away from the terrors that are bees and wasps. Thankfully, we made it through this whole recording without getting pounced on or anything. So, win for us. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.